China has just said this morning that it's going to start blocking North Korea exports of things like coal and iron ore on September 5th. So it's got a concrete date on those UN sanctions. Will this give it enough of an upper hand when it comes to talking trade with the US?
I don't think so. And the reason is that everyone is concerned about China's long-term enforcement of UN resolutions. So, for instance, we saw in the beginning of this year, February 18th, the Chinese announced that they were not going to buy coal from North Korea for the rest of this year to implement the sanctions that were enacted on November 30. But the Chinese, in fact, bought coal from the North Koreans in February after the announcement, in April, May, June, and now it appears they're buying coal, North Korean coal, from third countries. So there's a real concern about what the Chinese will do long term. You know, in the past, they have always enforced sanctions immediately after enactment, and then when we sort of diffuse our attention, they go back to doing the old way of doing things, which is busting the sanctions.
I want to read something that the Secretary of State and also the Secretary of Defense wrote in the Wall Street Journal today. The object of our peaceful pressure campaign is the denuclearization of the Korean Peninsula. The US has no interest in regime change or accelerated reunification. Now, if we can move to the next screen. They also say this: absent China using its influence to show the world how a great power should act to resolve such a well-defined problem as North Korea, pursuit of nuclear weapons and long-range missile capability, others in the region are obliged to pursue prudent defensive measures to protect their people. Is this clarifying the president's position? And if so, is it putting Japan into the mix?
Yeah, well, this op-ed really sort of codifies, as you say, the Trump administration policy on North Korea. It lays it out all in one place. And in that statement you just read, really what they're saying is, look, countries like South Korea, Japan, maybe even Taiwan are going to get their own nuclear deterrent if China doesn't rein in North Korea. Because we have actually worked to restrain nuclear programs in those countries, and yet, you know, the Chinese have not restrained the North Koreans. So really, this is sort of a threat. And also this terminal high-altitude area defense. This is THAAD, the anti-missile system that South Korea is based on its soil. China hates that. And so this is another point of leverage for the United States.